Atlanta News First Alert Meteorologist JD Dishern here, giving you an update on the severe weather threat as we head into the weekend. I'm going to go over a few graphics for today and early tomorrow first, just to allow people to kind of join on in. So for today, it was a beautiful afternoon with temperatures climbing up into the mid-70s. Morning temperature of 55 means we topped out about 10 degrees above average for the day, and an absolutely beautiful evening across most of North Georgia with just a few high cirrus clouds rolling through. Obviously, you can see that beautiful sunset shot there with 72 degrees here in the 7 o'clock hour. Most folks are in the upper 60s to lower 70s for right now, and we're going to continue to see a very comfortable evening as we head into the overnight hours. In fact, temperatures slowly falling back down into the low 60s by tomorrow morning. So that kind of tells you that we have not only the warm air, but some muggy air is going to start to roll in as well when we see those temperatures only bottoming out around 60 degrees in the city. In fact, most folks in the upper 50s to lower 60s. What this means is that Gulf moisture is starting to get pulled up ahead of the system, and that's one of the ingredients that we're going to be noticing heading into tomorrow. In fact, tomorrow is a first alert weather day. We could see a few isolated morning showers and storms, mainly in northwest Georgia, that could be on the stronger side, but I think for the most part, we're going to be dry throughout the day, but it will be very breezy out there before the main event rolls in around 8 o'clock for West Georgia. So tomorrow's highs, these are helping to fuel those showers and storms in the evening. Upper 70s to lower 80s across North Georgia. Wouldn't be surprised if we see a few folks topping out 81, 82 degrees. But keep in mind, it will be breezy out there. In fact, downright windy as we head into the afternoon. By the noon hour, we're talking wind gusts 20 to 30 miles an hour across North Georgia, increasing to 30 to 40 miles an hour across the state as we head through the afternoon and into the early evening hours. These winds will continue as we head throughout the evening into the overnight hours ahead of the storm. And then once the storms pass, we're still talking winds 20 to 30 miles an hour for Sunday as well. So just kind of keep that in mind as you go into your weekend. Not only are we having the severe weather, but it's going to be quite breezy as well. Meanwhile, here's the severe threat that we're going to be looking at. You see, for the southeast as a whole, we do have basically an upgrade from yesterday when we were streaming for you. Remember, yesterday we had that moderate risk in Alabama and Mississippi. Today, it is a high risk, rarely issued level 5 out of 5 from Birmingham stretching back towards Jackson, Mississippi. Our western counties have also been upgraded. They are now at a level 4 out of 4 severe risk. So you can see that extends from northwest Georgia all the way into Bartow County. The western half of Cobb includes southwest Fulton, Douglas, Coweta counties, Heard, and Troup counties as well. So, this is a significant event. We haven't had a moderate risk issued for West Georgia in almost 8 years. So it is a big event for that day 2 outlook. So let me rephrase that. We haven't had a moderate risk for day 2 issued in 8 years. The last moderate risk we had was back in 2020. So what does that mean, though? It's a level 4 out of 5. It means the severe storm potential isn't possible. It's not likely. It is very likely. And it's very likely that these storms are going to be long-lived, widespread, and intense, with winds over 70 miles an hour and or EF2 plus tornadoes. So what does that mean? It means EF2, EF3, EF4, EF5 possible as we go through tomorrow. This is going to be a high impact event across North Georgia. We're thinking widespread down trees and power outages as the storms roll through, maybe the possibility for some flash flooding in spots, especially those that are severely prone to flash flooding, even with the smallest amount. So it is an event you need to pay attention to. You need to have a way to get weather alerts overnight and into the morning hours so that you wake up when these storms are coming through your area if there is a warning that's issued. One way to do that is to download the Atlanta News First Alert weather app. Make sure those notifications are on. The other way I want to tell you about is just to go into your settings on either your iPhone or your Android device and make sure that the WEA, it's 3 letters, WEA alerts are turned on as well. And you can find that just by searching in your settings for the letters W, E, and A. That's a very good way as well of getting those alerts to you. So here's the reason for the upgrade. I didn't show this yesterday because it didn't really show a lot. Today, it does, and I'll show you why in just a few minutes. So going into tomorrow night at 9 p.m., keep in mind, this is not a radar image. This is not showing where the rain is or where the storms are. What this is showing is where the most favorable environments for strong tornadoes are. And you notice by 9 p.m., it's back into Alabama, including Cleveland and Randolph counties as we go through the late evening hours. It then starts to move into northwest Georgia and then into metro Atlanta itself by the midnight hour into 1 a.m. Now, keep in mind, this is showing the potential for at least an EF2 tornado. That's a very strong tornado. And we didn't have this on here yesterday because it looked like the line was going to coalesce or form into a single line into Alabama before it moved into our area. It doesn't look like that's going to be the case this time. So whenever we have those more discrete cells, and I'll show them to you in a second, that's when we have the large hail threat. That's when we have the tornado threat with those supercells as they move through. Notice as it moves into our eastern area, it starts to diminish, at least the tornado threat does. And the reason for that is it looks like that coalescing, that line building is going to happen right on top of us. And so that means that we have all threats of severe weather that are going to be possible for tomorrow. Whereas mainly out into Birmingham, they're looking at that supercell threat. We also have this, the damaging winds coming from that line of showers and storms. Notice it's out of here by the time we get into noon. At least, the severe threat. And it makes sense. That's when we expect the whole system to be out of here as well. So let's take a look at that radar. What can you expect? Notice 8 a.m. Saturday, we didn't have the tornado parameter, but we do have the chance for showers and storms in northwest Georgia. And some of these could be on the strong to severe side, mainly for a damaging wind threat and some pea-sized hail. And that's going to be affecting folks from basically Polk County all the way up towards the Georgia-Tennessee state line. You notice, though, it fizzles out fairly quickly, and then we stay relatively dry as we head into the afternoon and into the early evening. But by 7 p.m., notice we're starting to see the moisture return into extreme northwest Georgia. And that's one of the things that we're going to be concerned about, because notice it's not really a line yet. It's trying. It's trying to come in together into that line of showers and storms. But we do see these little cells, these little individual cells, like around LaGrange or Carrollton or Douglas County, up into Cobb County. Those cells indicate to us that the atmosphere will be conducive for supercellular development. These are discrete storms apart from a main line, apart from a main complex, and that's going to be our main tornado threat as we go into the afternoon and into the evening hours. So that's one of the reasons our tornado threat has increased, is because of that chance for these storms to kind of form out ahead of the line and then move through. But notice by 1 a.m., it starts to become a line right over the city of Atlanta. So not only do we have that chance for showers and storms, but we're going to be continuing to see that line with very strong straight line winds developing over the city, over Gainesville, and then moving off towards the east into Athens, and then eventually over towards Eatonton by the time we get to 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. So that's kind of the rundown of the timing on all of this. Unfortunately, it is an overnight event. That is the worst time, as people are sleeping and really not paying attention. And who can blame you? It's literally the middle of the night. So I do want to go over the fact that there is some tornado safety to kind of keep in mind. If you have, a single-story dwelling, you want to stay in the interior area if possible. So in this particular diagram here, your best places to go are going to be the hall and the closet. Second best places to go are the bathroom and the stairs. The reason they're the second best is because they do have a wall that hits that exterior wall. The other ones, not so great because of the fact they have windows and things like that. Obviously, you don't want to be outside on the deck. If you have the option, a basement is always going to be the best place for you to go in severe weather. And with the threat for damaging straight line winds tomorrow, I want you to treat severe thunderstorm warnings with a considerable or destructive tag, and you'll get those alerts on your phone, and they will say either considerable or destructive. Treat those like a tornado warning, because what that means is 70 to 80 mile an hour winds are going to be rushing towards you. Unfortunately, there is no safe place in a mobile or manufactured home. They are not safe in any instance for severe weather. So go ahead, if you live in one of those, make your plans now to find a supportive dwelling for you to be in for tomorrow's severe weather. And that could, if you don't have family or friends that you can go with, there are lots of community centers that are going to be opening. Just check with your county and see which one is going to be closest and available to you. So once we get through with all of this, though, we're going to be looking at some drier conditions heading on into next week. We're going to be looking at St. Patrick's Day, cooler, 63 and sunny skies, but we rebound nicely. Mid-70s for Tuesday and Wednesday before we have another chance of rain on into Thursday. So that's the overall rundown for what we're looking at for the next few days. So I'm looking here. Jesus Ramirez is asking, well, what if you're in an apartment complex? That's a great question. I live in an apartment myself. Most apartments are sturdy enough to withstand some significant winds. That's what they're built for. If Same rules apply. You want to stay away from the window. So, for example, my apartment is on the corner. So we have a lot of windows in our bedrooms, our kitchen, and also into our living area. So those would be horrible places for us. However, the closets in both bedrooms are interior for us. And for most apartments, that's what they are. So the closet's going to be the best space for you. If you don't feel comfortable because you're on a higher level, most apartment complexes do have storm shelters in the stairwells on the very bottom floor, or if your apartment complex has an underground parking deck, that is going to be the best place for you to be in. So apartment-wise, that's what I would look for. It's same thing, interior rooms, or if you're not comfortable, make your way down to the very bottom floor on the stairwell or an underground parking deck. We're going to be looking at, someone's asking, could Atlanta be upgraded to a level 4? It is entirely possible. Remember yesterday, if you were joining us, and I know a lot of you weren't, so I am going to recap it, but we were talking about how the moderate risk was basically where the high risk was right now. We even said then, if the model's trends continue and we're looking for that potential, we could see that moderate risk extend into Western Georgia, and that's exactly what happened. It's not out of the realm of possibility for that level 4 risk to creep even further off towards the east. So Atlanta could be included, Canton, Griffin. Again, given the dynamics of the severe threat over the far eastern portions of our viewing area, talking Athens and Eatonton, I would not expect that level 4 to kind of make its way into your area. On the flip side, could that level 5 expand a little bit eastward? Typically, 5s don't move too much from day 2 to day 1. Now, I say typically because guess what? This is only the third time a level 5 has been issued on day 2. So we don't have a large data set to keep in mind when we're looking at that. But yes, it is entirely possible that Cleburne and Randolph counties could be included in that level 5 as we go into tomorrow morning or into the afternoon with those future outlooks. Keep in mind, if anywhere in our viewing area is added to that level 5, it would be the first time since April of 2011, so almost 14 years since we've seen a system outlook that strong for our area. So this is a storm we definitely need to kind of pay attention to as we go in towards tomorrow. And obviously, the closer we get to the event, the better models we get. So, we've been talking about the last few days, we're getting the medium range models in. Tomorrow, we get the super high res models, and these are models that only go out 14 or 15 hours, but they get a lot of data, and they really can help to narrow down and pinpoint the timing of the system. So obviously, you'll want to tune in tomorrow morning. Cutter's going to be here on air and online, and he's going to have the entire update for you about what those latest models are saying. But as of right now, I want to emphasize, and I'll show that timing again, Northwest Georgia, you need to really have everything prepared from about 8 o'clock until 11 to 12. Once we get towards Cobb, Douglas, down in towards Coweta County, I'm talking 10, 11 o'clock until about 2 o'clock in the morning. Same for the city of Atlanta. And then east of the city, we're going to be looking for about 10 a.m. until about 2 a.m. until about 6 a.m. in the morning. So, again, download the First Alert weather app. That's going to be the safest way for you to get those alerts. And we'll continue to obviously watch these storm models as they come in, give you the latest updates from the Severe Prediction Center. Also, we'll be talking with the National Weather Service throughout the day tomorrow to get their outlook on it as well, because they're the ones who handle the warnings for our area, and they coordinate the watches with the Severe Prediction Center. So there's a lot of people looking at tomorrow's event to bring you the best and latest information, and obviously we here in the Atlanta News First Alert Weather Team are going to bring that to you as quickly as we can. Until then, I hope you have a wonderful evening and stay safe out there as we head through tomorrow, and have a great day.